Nilipokuwa ninasoma, I was trying to interrogate why do soldiers go to war? Kwa nini tunaenda kupigana huko Somalia? Na tunaenda kupigana because of the interest, because of our country, because of what the territory, because of what we have here. The soldiers are beyond the borders, and the families are running well, and the government is running well, and the children are able to go to school, and everything is running well in the country because somebody has gone, is on the border, and is also beyond, to make sure the aggressors cannot come and interfere with the running of the country. And that's why the soldiers fight. And why, the questions which I was trying to formulate, and why do we fight? Why do we fight us spiritually? The soldiers go out to make sure the devil or the aggressor, the physical, does not come and destroy. And why do why are the other nations interested with our territory, with our country? It is because of the value, because of the things which are here in this country. Who doesn't want Nairobi as their city? Who doesn't want Mombasa as their city? Who doesn't want Kisumu? Who doesn't want the climate of Kenya? Who doesn't want the people, the skill which is here? So that is why the aggressors want. And even if they do not get, there are those people wanasema, I better spoil for you. They destroy not because they get, kwa sababu ya wifu. If I don't get it, I will spoil for you. I will destroy it for you. So it is the same. This is a metaphor which is being used in this text to compare the life of a soldier and the life of a Christian. And why do we fight? When I was reading one of the books, inasema, why is the devil fighting us? One of the things, it is in the light of all that God has done for us. God has done so much for us. He even went to the cross, he died, and he saved us. So the devil has sikii musuri. How can God die for you? I will still come and destroy you. The other one, in light of the plan, Christians' maturity and growth, he gives to us. He has given us salvation. Now we have done so much to grow and to mature in Christianity. The devil is not happy. The other one, in light of the conduct God calls every believer to live. There is that conduct of a Christian. We have been called to live, to behave. And the devil doesn't want us to behave well, to believe in God, to go in the good road. He always wants to interfere. I love the other one, in light of the filling of the Spirit and walk in the Spirit. When we were given that power of the Holy Spirit of God, we have been given so much power to suppress, to refuse the powers of darkness. And the devil is not happy that we have the Spirit of God and we are walking as the theme of the year, that we are walking with the Spirit of God. So we have so much power. And the last one, in light of all this, there is a battle to fight. Because God has given us so much, God has put so much treasure in us, God has deposited so much, because there is one of the verses when you read, the Spirit of God is a guarantee and a deposit. A deposit is something. It's like when you go to the bank and you deposit money, which was not there. We were empty, but the Lord came our way and he has deposited the Spirit of God, the power of God. It is in a ndani yetu. And I was reading one book again. It says, in the Old Testament, it was the Lord who puts on the armor, which we are going to read now. In the New Testament, it is the believer. It is us who put on the armor of God, the whole armor of God. Then we get out and we fight the devil. So, at least now, you have some light or why The devil fights us because of what we have. And the other question was, who are we fighting with? Who are we fighting with? When we go to the text, inasema, we fight against the powers of darkness, heavenly kingdoms, things which are against evil rulers and authorities. The other one, we are still going to the text, we also fight against mighty powers in the dark world. The other one, we fight against evil spirits in the heavenly places. So now we can go to the text. And I said, I want two things to come out. The two weapons which are required for us to go to the field and fight the world, and fight the evil one, and fight with the powers of this world. Inaanza na kusema verse 10. Inasema, finally, what is the finally? This is the book of Ephesians. The apostle was speaking and writing a letter. So the letter has an introduction, it has a body, it has a conclusion. So this is a conclusion of what the prophet was trying to say. He has taught his people so much, now he's in the final part. Na anasema, finally, be strong in the Lord and in the mighty power. That is the first weapon. Anawaambia Wakristo, be strong in the Lord. And you remember when David was fighting in the book of Samuel 7, in the book of 1 Samuel 30, he strengthened himself in the Lord. That is how it says. So in this one, anaanza na kusema, be strong in the Lord. You start to be strong in the Lord through his power, through his word, through everything else. That is the first weapon. And not just in the Lord. Anasema, and in the mighty power. Might. One of the names of the Lord is Almighty. And I remember teaching that one day. Almighty ni kusema sile jina inatajwa ya Mungu. For wale wana understand kidogo, anasemanga omnipresent, omniscience, omnipotent. Yani omnipresent, he's all everywhere at the same time. Omnipresent, omnipotent, he's akona power yote ya dunia. Omnipotent, iso sote. Those are the names of the Lord. So anasema anasema nini? And in the mighty power. Be strong in the Lord and in the mighty power. When I was reading another book, inasema mighty power is that inherent power, that which cannot be, it cannot be challenged. Like the president has power. When he speaks, he has that power. When the court speaks, they have that power. If those things, institutions, and the president has that, what about God? So we have that power, which cannot be challenged, which cannot be taken away, which is present, kitu ambayo inaonekana. So we have that inherent power of God behind us when we get out and fight the evil one. So that is the first weapon. And that power is not exercised. Mara mingi, we go to use other things and we forget to look on God, to call on God, to come and bring his power, that which is beyond the powers of this world, that is beyond our power. So now akasema, si sasa iko hiyo power, and that is spiritual, and that is a weapon. And na unakumbuka, this one was practiced, or this one was exercised. This power was put in action when Goliath and David were fighting. That is in 1 Samuel 17, Na inaanza to almost the whole chapter. And this was a small boy. And he said in verse 45, I come to you in the name of my God, in the name of the God of Israel. Na analeta majina sote, the God, the mighty one, the Lord, mkubwa wa majeshi. I am coming in that name. And what did the Amalekites brought? They brought the man, well dressed, ako na nguvu, na ako na all the weapons of this world. Alikuwa na the whole armor of a soldier, and the strength and the might of this body. But this one came with the extra weapon, the weapon of the name of the Lord, the weapon of the God of armies. That's what he said. The Lord who commands armies. I am coming to you in that name. So this is the best place where the two weapons were put into action, were exercised, and the one which carried the day is the God of Israel, is the weapon of depending on the mighty power of God. And Goliath was killed with a small boy with one sling, with one stone. He had 5 stones, but I think he had, I don't know how many stones, but it was only one stone which destroyed the mighty man, well-bodied, well-able. So that is the first weapon which you must put to work, which you cannot forget. And when I was reading these books in Asema, when we talk of the might of God, the Lord has reservoirs. When the iko ile maji which flows and you use, when there is no water, there is always tanki fulani mahali maji iko. That is a reservoir. Maji ambao when there is hakuna maji, when there is need, you open for that water to flow. When we use our energy and it comes to an end, and we feel we are tired, and we feel we have been overwhelmed, we call upon God who has reservoirs to give us that power, to bring his power unto our lives, so that we are going to exercise at our time of need, when we are tired, when we are sick, when we are harassed, when the resources of this world come to an end. We call upon the resources of the Almighty, who does not run out of it, to come to our aid. Verse 11 inasema, put on the full armor of God so that you can stand against, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. The second weapon, you have already put in action the power of God upon yourself. Now, you take the physical things. Inasema, put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Shaitani ako na schemes. Shaitani ako na mpango mbaya. Shaitani has bad strategies against a believer. Anakupangia vile utaanguka, anakupangia vile utakufa. And when I was preaching about the temptations of Jesus, nilisema the devil was not to tempt. It was not to test. It was tempter, to kill, to destroy, to make sure he doesn't come out of that fasting. Because after the fasting, he will ni kama kukimbia to the cross and overrun the powers of darkness of this world unto the cross until he crushes him. So he was with him there trying to destroy. Na nikasema, the devil has no business whatsoever with a believer. Is only to kill. Na hata Yesu alisema, he came to kill and destroy. That must sink into my mind. That must sink into your mind, that the devil does not just want to interfere. He wants to destroy. He wants to destroy a country. He wants to destroy a family. He wants to destroy your life. He wants to destroy your career. He just wants to destroy you. So you cannot let the devil do that. And I've said that so many times, because that's why the military, the KDF, cannot let the devil interfere with their country, because wanajua once they cross the border, they will overrun the country. So they make sure he's destroyed on the border and beyond. And we cannot also let the evil one come into our lives, because it will overrun us. And so that you can stand against the devil's stand. So you must have that stamina, that power to stand all the schemes of the devil. 12 inasema, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against what? Sio kupigana na watu, sio kupigana na yule mtu unaona. As I said before, our battle, we are 3. You fight in 3 levels. Inasema, for our struggle is not, ya kwanza, but against the rulers. Unasikia? The rulers. Na rulers, the real powers of this world. Rulers, kama ni superpower, they might have interest. Wanataka they pass policies, and they pass so many things which affect us directly. They make a decision far away which is going to affect us. So ours is to fight against rulers. Ya pili, against authorities. And authority is anything. An authority can be president, an authority can be a bishop, an authority can be somebody mkubwa hapa, an authority, anything. So we are fighting against rulers, those who are ruling this world, and the authorities of this world who don't want anything to do with Christianity, and who don't want to have nothing to do with Kenya. So we have to stand, we have to fight. The other one, against the powers of this dark world. This world is dark. Kuna vitu mingi inaendelea ambao sisi wengi hatujui. Even court, kile kitu inasema, kama sasa the international court vile imesema against sijui, they tell us to give a portion, to give up that space. Na kama hiyo space haingekuwa na the things which are there, the things which are there in terms of gas, in terms of all those things, minerals, who cared? Who would have cared about water and fish? But because they know what is there, that is why that judgment was passed. And because it is not just Somalia, it is so many people, it is so many powers, it is so many dark world against us, which are rising against us. Alafu anasema, another one is against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. So, beside the powers of this world, the rulers of this world, the authorities of this world, there are those now who operate in the heavenly realms. That is where the devil rules and his kingdom, and it affects every decision. And that is why, as the soldiers do what they do, sisi who are spiritual, for us who are prophets, for us who speak the word of God, we take our position up there, and we suppress the powers of darkness in heavenly realms. Huko mahali wengi wanapigana, na tunasimamisha nguvu ya shetani. And because what is happening now about that judgment, I've already started the spiritual warfare in the highest places. Because it is not, kwenda vita sio kazi rahisi. And the soldiers cannot come to Somalia and go another way again. We have to stop it in the highest places. We have to suppress. And by the president speaking, he's fighting that. For everybody who has spoken against that, we are fighting. And for us, we are already in the highest places, fighting all the powers of darkness against this country, against KDF, against this territory, against that which is ours by right. So, verse 13, the apostle again he started by saying finally, and now he's saying therefore. So sasa anawaambia, he has given them instructions. He has told them what to be done. He has told them the weapons to be used. He has told them who is you are supposed to fight against. And now you know it is against authorities, powers of darkness, and those who are up there. So you should know your enemy, because you can't go to Somalia unless you know the enemy and tactics of that enemy. Now, therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything, to stand. Amesema ufaye hizo vitu yote, the whole armor of God, for the day of the evil will come. Inasema nini? For the day of when the day of evil comes, siku hiyo ya hatari, siku hiyo ya shetani, you will be able to fight. And not just to fight, after you have finished fighting, to stand. When I was trying to research what is to stand, when the military prepare the soldier for war, when the military prepare the soldier to fight, there is so many things. He must be physically fit. He's given all the support, the weapons, everything. At the end or at the back of whoever is doing this, he wants that soldier to come back safely. He wants him in good shape again. The war cannot be predicted, but it is always our prayers. When they go out, we want them to come when they are well, by the grace of God. So, when he says, and after the fight, you stand. Inasema, you are not supposed, a Christian, after every battle, after every scheme of the devil, after every struggle, you are supposed also to come back and stand with power, with the reservoir. Shaitani should not destroy you. So that is why anasema, and after all this, you fight, and at the end of the day, you will be able again to stand. That after this battle, we are still strong. And even now, when you look, after the battle of Somalia and whatever, we are still strong. The country is strong. We put aside the what? The casualties and the losses. But we are still strong, and KDF is still strong. And that should be reflected on a Christian, that you fight a battle, unapigana na shetani, and you still come out and you stand. Whatever the injuries, you should continue to have that power to stand against the devil. Alafu anasema, nayo anaendelea verse 5, stand firm then with the belt. So sasa anapatiana hizo instructions. What the physical would take. And why was he talking about the physical armor? You should know this time, Paul was in prison in Rome, just waiting for his last judgment. So, and who was around him? Who was always there?